Welcome back to Zenel's Teacher Apple. Today, I want to talk about the benefits of cooperative learning in the classroom. So when we're talking about cooperative learning and using it in the classroom, we're talking about students working together and learning together. Cooperative learning is a teaching strategy that is used in a variety of different ways. It's used to promote a variety of activities to reinforce small group instruction. Ultimately, the goal of cooperative learning is to improve student comprehension. Researchers, educators have found that this type of learning is useful in the kindergarten classroom all the way to the college level. So, we're going to talk about what cooperative learning is, what those benefits are, and how you can start using it in your classroom today. So, why does cooperative learning work? This student-centered approach allows students to work in a small group setting. Students in these groups are responsible for their own learning as they practice the skills that are modeled by the teacher. Cooperative learning groups allow students to collaborate together in order to achieve a task or complete a goal. Using this practice in the classroom is vital to expanding your teaching and ultimately student learning. It's a research-based practice. Therefore, it's something that you can use in the classroom continuously throughout the school year. Cooperative learning is one of the most common research-based practices in the classroom. Research on cooperative learning has moved beyond the question of whether cooperative learning is effective in accelerating student achievement to focus or conditions under which it is optimally effective. So pretty much at this point, we know that cooperative learning is effective. It's just about how are we using it in the classroom to enhance our students' learning and ultimately our teaching practice. Originally, cooperative learning was considered through the role of culture, society, and language in a theory formulated from social constructivism. This approach was formulated with a group of students and described as cooperative and cultural. Furthermore, the purpose of this type of grouping is to establish group goals and individual accountability. Therefore, this method of instruction is geared towards promoting collaboration and motivation among students in the group. In addition, students are able to learn from each other, assess, and redirect each other's learning. What teacher doesn't want that to happen in the classroom? Now that we have some background knowledge on cooperative learning, let's talk about the 5 elements of using this model in your classroom. The first element is positive interdependence. In this element, the teacher chooses the goal for the group, and then the group will choose the task that they have in order to meet that goal. This element can be successful in the classroom because it ensures that each group member has a specific task so that in the end, they all complete the goal together. The next element is face-to-face promotive interaction. In face-to-face promotive interaction, students work together to collaborate and discuss in order to complete the group work. Members are able to provide each other with feedback, reasoning, and support as they work towards their goal. The third element is individual accountability. In this element, each group member has a specific task that they will complete individually. Each group member has a responsibility to each other, and although they would complete it on their own, they are able to discuss and collaborate together when it comes to reasoning and giving each other feedback. But ultimately, it is their responsibility to complete the task individually. So they are still working together, but they all have an individual responsibility to themselves and to each other. The fourth element is appropriate use of school, interpersonal, collaborative, and small group skills. This is probably the most common one that you use in your classroom, whether it's middle school or elementary that you teach. By using this element, you'll see that students learn how to collaborate and work together as a team as they build autonomy and make decisions together. This is probably one of the most common types of groups that you see when it comes to cooperative learning. The last element is group processing. Now, in group processing, each group has a group goal that they will need to complete, and they will establish their success and changes that they will need to make in the future. So, while it may sound similar to the first element, positive interdependence, the difference is that in this element, students will learn from the mistakes or the things that they need to change, and they will process it through some type of reflection so that they know exactly what to do next time when they might have a similar task. Next, we're going to talk about teacher and student roles. So what is the teacher's role and the student's role when it comes to cooperative learning? Well, the teacher's role is to pretty much model for students, assess learning, design, instruction, and assessments that's going to promote collaboration. The teacher creates the appropriate groups, heterogeneous or homogeneous. Then the teacher is going to instruct each group on what they should do next. It is the teacher's responsibility to make sure that students know how to collaborate effectively. Once students are working cooperatively in the groups, then the teacher is going to facilitate learning and serve as a mediator among groups. Students in the group will help self-regulate their progress as they complete the task. Additionally, they will assess their own understanding as they discuss the topic. The student's role is pretty much to participate in cooperative learning. Therefore, the student understands their role as they collaborate and share their ideas or knowledge of the topic to their peers. So once the teacher has effectively communicated the expectations, then it's going to be easier for students to then do their part because they're just working together to complete the task. So it's up to the teacher on how well they want to communicate to students. The last thing we're going to talk about is the impact on the learning environment. So how does cooperative learning impact your overall classroom or students' learning environment? Providing students with the opportunity to collaborate with their peers is priceless. Students learn strategies, and through those strategies, they can then apply them to small groups. It's the teacher's responsibility to make sure that students know how to work in these groups. This is going to encourage students to have healthy discussions and to take ownership of their learning and apply their knowledge effectively. This practice only impacts the teacher's instructions, and it reinforces whatever skills that students need to learn or whatever the teacher modeled to students. And then through cooperative groups, teachers are able to promote the learning as it reinforces the skills that students just learned. Once students are in small groups, the teacher is able to assess their understanding of the lesson, whether the teacher is the one that is running one of the groups or as a facilitator. It's important that the teacher does have some type of way to assess learning through each group. Ultimately, cooperative instruction is going to improve student learning. It promotes motivation as students set goals and encourage each other to learn and help each other complete a task. Therefore, autonomy happens just like that, and each student collaborates and they automatically start assessing each other. That's what you want to see in your classroom. You want to see students learning from each other, and through cooperative learning, this is how they're going to do it. You want to build that autonomy. You want students to start thinking for themselves and to start problem solving. So, what are some things that you do in your classroom to ensure that students are working in groups effectively? How do you use cooperative learning? Did you use some of the strategies that we talked about in this video, or are there some other things that you want to add? Please comment below, like, share, subscribe if this content resonates with you. We would love to hear from you. From my teacher apple to yours.